This week on the Husky Update.
International Village floods, leading to broken facilities and water damage inside the residential hall. All the Allcapella groups on campus put on their annual Allcapella show in Blackman Auditorium to a packed house. And we sit down with Northeastern's Aerospace Club for a club profile. All this and more on this week's episode of the Husky Update.
Your campus, your news, all the time. From the Showman Studio, here is the Husky Update.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Husky Update. My name is Ben Mashinsky and here's the week's news. For our first story, our reporters went over to International Village, which was heavily flooded last week due to the snowstorms and flash floods. We spoke with a resident for more details.
My name is Danielle Fibke. I'm a first-year student here. I live on the second floor of International Village West. So first, we got woken up by the alarm at 5:30 a.m. and it told us we had to evacuate. So I got my coat, got my key, and I set out. And then I went down to the lobby, and then there were other people there. And then eventually the fire department showed up, and they told us that we had to evacuate into another building. When we had to evacuate, they said that a pipe had burst, and then they told the 10th through 14th floors that there might be damage to their rooms. There were at least 100 kids, probably more, but it was a good amount of people who got up at 5:30 a.m. to evacuate. When I was going up the stairs, I heard some of the firefighters, whoever, they were talking about how they were going to turn on only the water for the other two towers, but not the West Tower, which is where the flooding had happened. And I don't know, I used it, it worked, but I heard other people, they weren't able to use the shower or wash their hands. But other people said that like black stuff would come out or it would just be discolored, but my water was fine.
Thanks guys. For our next story, we're covering Allcapella. On January 15th, Blackman Auditorium was filled to capacity with eager fans of the many a cappella groups on campus. Each year, all of these groups get together for one big show where each organization can show off their skills to the audience. Fan favorites like the Northeasterns, Distilled Harmony, Treble on Huntington, Pitch Please, the Unisons, and the Downbeats gave performances. Many groups use this event as an opportunity to advertise their newly released albums or drum up support for them in the lead up to the International Championship of Collegiate A Cappella, or ICCA, an a cappella competition occurring in February. And now we hand it over to Tom from NUTV Sports for a preview of upcoming sports events.
Hi, I'm Tom Gambardella here for NUTV, and as you all know, the Super Bowl is coming up next Sunday. In preparation for the Super Bowl, I'm going to be giving you the 5 things to watch out for on Sunday. A lot has been made this year of Ndamukong Suh and Aaron Donald, the Rams' 2 powerhouse interior defensive linemen, but what a lot of people don't know is the Rams are actually in the bottom 10 in the NFL in terms of yards allowed per game on the ground. Now, the Rams are allowing 5.1 yards per carry to opposing running backs this year, which is actually the worst average in the league. And on Sunday, they're going to go up against a very capable Patriots offensive line and a running back in Sony Michel, who has put up over 100 yards in both of his first 2 playoff games, which is almost unprecedented in the NFL. So on Sunday, what I will be watching for is Sony Michel to have a big game against the Rams, and that is number 1 on our list. Second on this list is Los Angeles Rams cornerback Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters, in both games against the Saints this year that the Rams played, the Saints were able to isolate him on Michael Thomas one-on-one, and Michael Thomas just ate him alive. So the problem that he's going to run into on Sunday is that Bill Belichick is a mastermind at finding what matchups he is able to exploit and then exploiting them all game. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for Julian Edelman, Philip Dorsett, or James White to line up in the slot and try to exploit that matchup against Marcus Peters. The third thing I'm watching for on Sunday is going to be the Los Angeles Rams running back situation. A lot has been made of Todd Gurley's health in this postseason. He actually was not on the field as much as he was in previous games last Sunday, making a lot of people wonder if he is actually fit to play. Now, if he is not, obviously the Rams have C.J. Anderson, who has stepped up in a huge way this postseason. He's actually called himself the freshest running back in the league because he did not sign for a team for almost the entire regular season. So if Gurley is healthy on Sunday, obviously that is a huge weapon that the Rams can pull out when they need to. But if he is not, they're going to have to rely on the more power-oriented C.J. Anderson. One more thing I'm watching for on Sunday is going to be the Patriots' pass defense, because although they have made it this far, they've done it more in spite of their defense. You see, they're ranked 22nd in pass yards allowed per game this year, and actually 30th in the league in sacks. Now, the problem that arises there is obviously they're going to need to pressure Jared Goff to try and get him off his rhythm, try and force him to make some decisions. and they're going to need to upset the pace of the Rams offense. The last thing I'm looking for on Sunday is how the Rams adjust to the stage of the Super Bowl. The Patriots have been here before. They've been in the Super Bowl so many times that at this point, they know how to play Super Bowls better than anyone else. This is a very young Rams team still. Their head coach is only 34 years old, I believe, 33 or 34. But they're still a very young team. Jared Goff is still on his rookie contract, and they're going to need to have some inexperienced players making big plays on Sunday. And that about wraps it up for our What to Watch For in the Super Bowl on Sunday. Ben, back to you.
Thanks, Tom. Be sure to check on our YouTube channel in the next few days to catch the full version. After a bitter snowstorm hit Boston last week, we sent reporter Eleanor to the Curry Indoor Quad to ask students how they're faring.
Hi, I'm Eleanor Burrell. I'm here in the Curry Student Center to interview students about the recent snowfall.
How has the storm affected you?
I've been staying inside a lot more, considering it's like 3 degrees outside, and finally laced up my boots, so I'm using those now.
It hasn't done too much, but I've had to put on a lot more layers, but my classes are closed, so it hasn't affected that.
It hasn't affected me too much. It's pretty cold out. I have to put another jacket on. Sometimes I don't want to go outside, but I've been okay.
Thanks, Eleanor. Now we take it to Rihanna with Rapid Fire.
Thanks, Ben. My name is Rihanna Buckman, and this is Rapid Fire. In Northeastern news, the annual Snowball occurred on Thursday, January 24th. The tickets, which sold out quickly, included dinner and a fun night of dancing and socializing at the Museum of Science. In national news, Congress passed a bill to temporarily fund the government until February 15th. This ends the historically long 35-day government shutdown, which forced 800,000 government workers to work with no pay, left national parks unsupervised, and caused disruptions in air travel. In international news, the Greek parliament finally settled a 27-year-long dispute over the name of the neighboring country of Macedonia. Now called North Macedonia, the state is now eligible to be a member of NATO and the European Union. That's Rapid Fire. Back to you, Ben.
Thanks, Rihanna. For our next story, our reporter Scott went to the Boston Globe Travel Show. Here he is with some details on it.
This year, the Boston Globe produced an annual travel show. The Globe's travel show is not the only one, as the New York Times produces an annual event in New York, and another show is coming to Boston in a few weeks. At the Globe's event on January 18th through 20th, cruise lines, resorts, airlines, and different countries promoted themselves to attendees. Places like the Galapagos Islands, Turkey, Tanzania, and Maine were all represented. From the World Trade Center in the Seaport, I'm Scott Adelberg. Back to you.
Thanks, Scott. For our final story of the week, reporter Jeannie visited Aerospace NU for a club profile.
Can you introduce yourself for us?
I'm Carl Swanson. I am the president of Aerospace NU, and I am a third-year computer science and computer engineering major.
And what is your club all about?
So Aerospace NU is really about combining all the skills from all the engineering majors to build rockets, drones, planes, anything you think of that involves engineering. This club really takes on a super interdisciplinary approach. It gets the abilities things you need: mechanical engineers, computer engineers, electrical engineers, everyone in the field to make the rocket, the drone, whatever you're looking at. The best part of this club, in my opinion, is that you actually get to see what you're working on as a finished product. So you work all during a semester to build a rocket, and you actually get to see it launch.
I've been working on this engine. This is a liquid rocket engine. We're actually a collegiate drone racing team. We compete nationally.
We're building a custom avionics system from the ground up for a final rocket. It's going to be a 2-stage rocket and about 17 feet tall, and it'll go to 100 kilometers plus, which is the definition of the edge of space.
And even if you're not in engineering, no one knows anything coming to this club as a freshman or even as a sophomore, whatever, and our leads are very good at catching people up to speed. And even if you're not so much interested in the engineering field, we have business majors who are working on getting funding, we have some design people who work on videos and stuff. It's no matter what your major is, you can join this club and there's something for you to do.
Thanks, Jeannie. That's the news. The rest is up to you. Be sure to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with the Husky Update. My name is Ben Mashinsky. Thank you for watching.